Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. It's just like the Jerry Springer Show. Sparks will fly and heads will roll. You'll go insane reuniting with your long-lost friend from junior high. Guess who just got busy in the Turbolift? Yes, your brother is a psycho. Does your baby daddy have a human side chick? And you'll never guess who your new mother is.
Hey, good day, everybody. Welcome back to Starfleet Underground. This is the podcast where our computers are always right.
Always?
Always. Well, okay.
Twice a day, anyway.
I guess the percentage is high enough where it's almost always.
Mostly always.
We have back with us on the show the good friend of the ship, as well as our almost close by neighbor. He zooms through all the while with that beautiful USS Navras ship. We have Captain Patrick Hall.
Good morning, everybody.
And tell us about a little bit about your background in case we have some new listeners here.
Okay, well, I'm captain of the Navras. We do conventions, San Diego Comic-Con, LA Comic-Con, WonderCon. We have a table. We usually raffle off items for different charities. I knit beanies in Star Trek-inspired colors that we use to raffle off. And last night I did my first script reading with some friends on Zoom. We did the episode Space Seed, which is where everyone gets introduced to Khan for the first time. It was a lot of fun.
It sounded like it was. If somebody wanted to find you, how would they find you on Facebook, let's say?
You can go to just search for USS Navras, or for me personally, it'd be facebook.com/Chiron Centaur.
And are you on Twitter?
Yes, as Geek Chifu.
Okay, and the unit is also on Twitter, your ship?
Yes, at USS Navras.
Outstanding, thank you. And we have our one of four here, although always pleasant to deal with, and Section 31 has a crush on her. That's what I believe now. Is Heather.
Heather? Section 31 got her.
Did they take her away again?
Oh, boy. Where did she go?
Wow. I don't know. Looks like they snatched her. My God.
She wasn't wearing clothes again, so
I was scared that this was going to happen. They took Fred. Now they're going to take her as well? What the hell? Okay, until she comes.
What happened to Fred?
Fred has been doing a lot of work because of the situation that's on Earth. They've been using his expertise for things. So he's been missing for a couple of weeks. Section 31 has not brought him back. We're hoping that he will come back to us soon.
Can you hear me now?
Now
yes.
You're there. Did Section 31 take you?
Thank goodness. No, actually, me and Fred were having some troubles with our comms, our tribbles. They got into it and they started eating our communication badges. So unfortunately, I don't think Fred is going to be able to join us because he's fixing his comm badge. Luckily, they didn't eat too much of my comm badge, but I might go in and out because of it.
Okay. I was glad in a way that it's just the badges because I was worried the Section 31 grabbed you.
Yeah, right in the middle of the show would not be okay.
No, it would not.
But they are in the corner looking at Fred kind of weird, so I don't know.
What's Fred doing in your quarters?
Shh. Shut up.
Oh, my God. No wonder.
Well.
Getting a little nookie there?
That explains when I walked by and I heard you whisper, "Shh, just let it happen."
just put it in. Just put it
in. Goodness.
Wow.
Okay.
Right on, Fred. Okay.
Rocky, introduce yourself.
Oh, hi there. I'm Rocky the engineer, and things are going okay so far. Aside from no tribbles nibbling on my communicator, that's for sure.
Are you being quarantined in your section of space there, Rocky?
I think all of us are. I do tend to pop my head outside once in a while, but I hold my breath so it doesn't. I don't disappear in the vacuum.
Good. And don't stay out too long because you'll freeze your face off.
Right? Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No, that would not be a good thing. And my name, of course, is Captain Nathan Adams. I am a retired fleet admiral of the 1701st. I've been on this wonderful ship perusing the Delta Quadrant, and every once in a while I can get back, but Section 31 has a mean streak because once I'm on Earth, they shoot me back out here to the Delta and they won't let us leave. But they sponsor the show, so I'm not going to complain about that. We're going to be reviewing today the Star Trek short Q&A, which is the introduction to Spock for the first time on the Enterprise, which was very entertaining to say the least. And the third show of the second season of Discovery, where Tilly finally understands what the hell is happening to her. Did you guys get a chance to see it?
Oh, yeah.
Squee.
It's been a while. I've actually got it on in my quarters in the background on mute, just kind of watching the...
Smart.
Well, refresh your memory. We know how you older guys are.
Excuse me?
You'll remember.
You're older than I am, so...
Shh, spoilers.
And you can't pull off a mohawk like I can, so...
Yeah, I saw that on top of your head. It looked like you had squished a tribble and glued them. But now, do you guys remember Q&A? Q&A was actually kind of cool to see Spock before he locked down his emotions. What did you guys think on it?
I just got such a kick out of seeing this episode again. This little mini. It's such a special thing. When you get an episode like this in the short treks, you realize how special the short treks are, because you can really get down and explore just certain parts of the story. And seeing, get locked in with number one in the Turbolift and nothing to say. And wow, it's such a geeky episode. At the same time, it's just kind of funny and it captivates you when you watch it.
It really did.
The short treks, they definitely give us a deeper insight to the characters and who they are and what their current motivations are and why they're behaving the way they are. Like the one with Saru, especially, that was,
The brightest star. That was good.
Yeah, that definitely gave you a lot more information than just the episodes that you had seen on the show. I really like that they go in depth and they give you all that background information. It really helps to flesh out the characters.
This was basically a geek porn. I mean, 15 minutes of geek porn right here with nerdgasms all over the place.
I mean, I think I have a subscription to that.
There's a website right here. Actually, I'd like to get that website. Can you send that to me?
Is that like Pornhub?
Yeah, XXX right here. Okay. So all of my notes from this episode were all sexual related. Like, seriously, it was everything sexual related. And it was just basically one big, sex fest.
So if we get a Patreon account, can we put your notes on the Patreon account and get money for that?
Possibly.
When are your notes not sexual, though, Heather?
That's a good point, actually. Talking about that, I was writing in my journal the other day, and I swear to God, I freaking drew a dick in there with the balls and coming.
You must be on
something to say.
You must be on quarantine, Heather. You must be like.
Watch out for Heather. You just do not understand.
My journal has a lot of doodles in it.
The doodle, that's what they call
Doodles
it.
being
doodles.
I got you a doodle I can show you.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Heather
wants
to get doodled.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I guess this quarantine's getting affect everyone's hormones.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. And because of Heather, I found out a little bit of history. Cleopatra has the infamous notoriety. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
She was known for
being a freaky bitch. Yeah.
Inventing the first vibrator.
Yeah.
You know how?
How?
She took an empty gourd and filled it with bees.
Kinky.
Yeah, I thought that was. Okay.
Very inventive, though.
Did she have one of her slaves shake it, or did she do it herself?
I guess we weren't there to know.
You just got to rile it up. So once you get riled up, you just shake it, and they get riled up, and everybody gets riled up.
I wonder if that's where maracas came from once the bees died. I just got a flash here on my console. It looks like this is the time, or back on this day here, Little Richard just passed away.
Wow.
He was 87 years old.
And Roy Horn died yesterday.
Yeah, Roy died yesterday.
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried and Roy. The one that was mauled, in case you guys don't remember who was who.
From that awful Earth disease from long ago, COVID-19.
Oh, that's for sure. Okay, let's circle back over to the short here. It was really interesting to see because we know on the Cage, number one and Spock were more stoic. Spock was a little more hyper, but he still was relatively Spock. And number one was more like a Vulcan. So to see them both in the Turbolift basically kind of let their hair down. And Spock being like a kid asking 1,000 questions and her being able to keep up with him. And we all know how hard Vulcans are hit with the sciences.
I was blown away because the mystery of number one is always, it's been a mystery until this episode. You realize who exactly this woman is. And boy, she's one hell of a multitasker, and she's quick and fast, and she scares the Vulcans basically. She's hard to break. It was so cool to see what it is to keep up with her, and then to see somebody who could keep up with her like that. Spock is a perfect man for that. Vulcan for that, It's great.
Well, number one's less of a mystery than number two. But
Oh, okay. I was waiting to see, was that a joke or was that a Patrick observation?
Heather, do you have any jokes about number one in there?
Heather, her comm badge went out.
The Twitter, they're following with her. They're messing with her badge again. I'm sure she'll come back with it. But I think also what I really liked was the song they sang. That little song. At first, she sings a song and she's like, did I embarrass myself? And then Spock picks it up and they both sing together.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment. First of all, that song, I've experienced that song only a few times in my life because I have no idea who Gilbert and Sullivan are. I have to go research that. But
what kind of human being are you?
Well, I grew up in public schools and they weren't that good in the musical department, apparently. But it was cool to hear that song sung in that way. And actually, reading the subtitles helped a little too. So that was really good for me. This episode, big time nerd porn, because you realize how much of a nerd you are if you can keep up with all the references. And I'm not as big of a nerd that I think I am, because some of them go right by me.
Nerd porn. So can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank freaking Christ. I'm sitting here and I'm talking and my comm badge just is not working. Like I am talking to myself and Fred.
Tribble drool is on it. You got to wipe that stuff off.
Or I got Tribble hair in here or something. I don't know. But they messed this up. I have to not leave my comm badge on the, close to the ground anymore. Anyway, sorry about that. Hi.
No worries.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So did you guys go into Spock asking too many questions and how annoying that was?
Yeah, a little bit. Like it's like a 5-year-old, which was kind of cute.
Yeah. Dude, it sounds like most of my life. Annoying people with questions. I ask like a zillion questions and I annoy the crap out of people all the time.
Well,
I'm like, oh my
I wasn't going to
God,
say anything, Heather, but since you brought it up.
See?
Especially when people are with you. It's like, how did I do? Was I long enough? Are you okay? You said this. Are you happy? Do I have to leave now? Can I take one of the prizes off the shelf? Which one do I take? The top shelf or the bottom?
Is my money on the dresser?
Oh, geez.
These are very great questions. What about the ship's version of the computer operating system? Did you like 3611.4 or did you like .5 a little better?
That was funny.
I can relate to that stuff. I'm like, oh, well, .5 was...
Well, the previous versions are always inferior.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they just run better, though. I mean, you like the old version that just works right, The new versions, they get a little crashy, a little buggy.
I'm surprised they don't have a sensor that tells you what the problem is. And getting stuck in an elevator is so 1950s.
Oh, gosh.
Well, it's a Turbolift. It's not an elevator. Come on. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's a slight difference. The one thing about this, the one thing about the new Discovery show, people get bothered by the Klingons and all the violence and sex and none of that's, I got no problems with any of that. The problem I have is seeing the inner workings of a turbolift going through the ship. It's like, you don't show me that. I don't want to see those details because it's like seeing the inner workings.
It looked like a pinball.
Yeah, it disturbs me.
Yeah, it looked like pinball shoots.
What's like seeing the bathroom on the, the bridge? No one wants to see the bathroom on the bridge.
Well, you want to see it behind a door on the bridge, maybe.
Yeah. Especially for when the cleaning incense gets to it.
Right.
You realize also how funny it was that Spock was so annoying that she was willing to electrocute herself to get out of there.
Boy, that was shocking.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Section 31. Bad jokes.
Oh,
Bad jokes.
I liked how Spock tried to just lift her from the front. She's like, no. I'm climbing on top.
He probably could have, because Vulcans are supposed to be really strong.
Oh yeah,
so,
they're strong individuals.
But that was definitely wild. And didn't the woman who went to help them sound a little bit like the girl on Discovery? I was wondering if that was the same actress,
Hilly,
that did the voice with the Turbolift with like an Indian accent.
Oh yeah, who was that?
Yeah, the voice sounded familiar.
Yeah, I think she's on the ship somewhere. No, we've seen her before. I was looking through the Memory Alpha notes, and so there was that note in there, and I didn't catch the exact specifics. The other note was the voice of the Enterprise computer was voiced by somebody, and I can't remember what the specific detail was, but it was very cool.
I wonder why they changed it from Majel, because when she passed away, before she passed away, she had did enough voices and words and sounds and numbers and everything that they could use her forever almost.
Oh, maybe that's what happens in version .5. They put her voice in there. I don't know.
Nah, you got a point. Maybe that's why they're talking about the versions. And I love it when Spock finally gets to the bridge, and how number one tries to play it off that she's not really close to him. It's like, is that the new boot? And she's like, oh yeah, it's
what's his name? Here it is.
What's his face?
Yeah.
Let me look it up. That was actually really, it was like you said, it was a real Nerdgasm short. And it was filled with all kinds of little Easter eggs, which I enjoyed. I thought it was pretty good. It was interesting seeing Spock before he decided to let his Vulcan side take over from his human side. Heather, did you lose Comm again? Yeah, it's Tribble drool over a Comm badge.
Man.
Well, if she hadn't had Fred in her quarters with all them tribbles.
Yeah, I would say I'd send the engineer, but you got one in there. So hopefully he can stop working on his and get George going.
In where?
We're going to jump into the show. Unfortunately, this will be a little bit of a shorter show, because at approximately 10 o'clock Galactic Center time, I have to vacate the ship. I have a meeting that I need to get to. So we're going to be a little bit more condensed on this. So we're going to go ahead and flip over.
Just admit it. They're spraying for crabs.
No, that was you. They said they ran out of material because of you here. Let's go back over to Discovery. We're talking about season 2, episode 3.
Point of Light.
It was cool seeing Tilly actually running. She was working hard on that command. Her desire, I mean, she even slowed down and was able to pass all the other recruits. And she was thinking that she was losing her mind. So that was...
And she had a whole quick conversation with this alien, and then picked back up and won the whole race. She's friggin' badass. I love that.
Yeah, she's really determined. And we know from that little conversation she had with Michael at the end that Michael's been training her. So they must have had some sort of like breathing technique or extra exercises.
Something
that the Vulcans do in order for her to catch up.
Maybe stretches or something. Yeah.
Well, she probably gave her some tips from the practice of Kolinar to calm her and center her. Because we know Tilly's a little bit on the erratic side, emotional,
scattered.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really is.
But I really like her character. I mean, I remember there was all that when the show first started, people were like, "Oh, I don't like Tilly. She's I'm like, dude, she's freaking awesome. What are you talking about?"
She won me when she dropped the F-bomb.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
I was like, oh, that's who Tilly is. I really like her now. Yeah, when they first met her, when they met in the quarters, I'm like, who is this woman? Oh my God, she is so annoying. But she grows on you very quickly.
Yes, she does. And that's the sign of a really good actor, because, if you can make it an annoying character be loved by the viewing audience, you got some chops there.
And I like it that she's intelligent, she's passionate, and she's not a size 0.
No.
She's really a beautiful woman, and that hair of hers, oh my God, all the way down her back, and she manages to tame it and go through. She's somebody that I would love to hang out with. She just is that's got that type of thing, and they
should really cast her hair as a separate credit in the cast. And Tilly's hair play by,
Tilly's hair.
I think it's pretty awesome. Well, we all know, since Heather can't answer, but I'm sure she can hear us. We all know how redheads have more fun.
Hey.
So she's back.
Can you hear me now?
Are you saying redhead?
When we're talking about you, you pop in.
Are you saying redhead?
Beetlejuice.
I've been trying to fix this, but I think I found the problem. So there was a baby Tribble stuck in between two of the chips, and I had to get that little sucker out, and now he is attached to me and he won't leave my side. But I think I got my comm badge working.
Outstanding.
Okay.
So that makes us all happy.
Yes.
So we're talking about your red hair and Tilly's red hair and how they should use it.
And you were saying how redheads were easy.
More fun. I didn't say easy. I said more fun.
I have never in my life experienced an easy redhead. If anybody knows an easy redhead, you probably don't want to meet her.
The things you don't ever want to do is poke a bear, step on a rattlesnake, and annoy a redhead. You don't want to do those things. And if that was the case, anytime a review came up, Heather would come to my quarters. She's never done that, so she's not easy.
Yeah.
Well, just look at that old 1950s TV comedy with I Love Lucy, that redhead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, see, they're very smart, passionate, and loyal people. Just like, Tilly and just like Heather.
Yeah, I passed a statue of Lucille Ball at Starfleet. Like, they have a big old statue of her at Starfleet.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's the reason why Star Trek exists, so they have her at Starfleet as a statue.
Whoever would have thought that being the person would help create something that was fantasy into reality, and here we are, out in the middle of the vast emptiness.
So, because you guys couldn't hear me, I couldn't hear you either. Are we still talking about Q&A, or are we on to Discovery?
We're on to Season 2, Episode 3, Reader's Digest version. We talked about Tilly's training and how she was able to stop, have a conversation, catch up, and pass. Patrick dropped a note about it must have been the Vulcan training. We talked about how it was nice seeing her characters grow. I mentioned the fact that I really would like to hang out with her. I also love the fact that she's not a size 0, and her hair, and that's where we got on with the hair, and we came with you. Okay. So.
Well, it's a good thing I probably wasn't able to talk about Q&A because literally all of my notes are sexual related, and we probably would have been kicked off.
I think we need another show for that. That's probably a separate episode.
Right?
Yeah, I'd say so. Okay, that's put that in the notes there that we're going to have a special podcast when we run out of stuff. It's going to be called Not Your Mama's Podcast.
The Red Light District.
Yeah. And we're going to have a red light. So we're going to talk about all the other stuff on there.
Starfleet Underground After Dark.
Yes.
So since we're talking about Tilly at the very beginning when she's jogging and everything and she runs through the ghosts and she's like, no, this is just a symptom of an unfit mind. No, it's actually a symptom of having that triple shot Janeway espresso. That's what it was.
Side effects. You might see things.
Yes, she's been hitting the coffee a lot lately.
Yeah.
And you have turbo speed.
Right.
Which is another reason why I'd like to hang with her.
Yeah.
You see dead friends you only knew for 6 months from when you were in fifth grade.
That helps you win the race. Now,
right.
I wonder if they check for performance enhancing spirits. Just curious.
I wonder if they did have that type of stuff.
Is there a way to do a bioscan for that? I don't know.
There should be.
Yeah, they get scans for everything else. They should be able to do that. But let's also talk about how we thought Sarek was going. They teased us with Sarek.
They did that again. They did somebody's going to show up. Somebody's going to show up. It's not the person you were expecting. Oh, damn it.
It wound up being the mom.
Yeah.
So it was cool seeing her.
Amanda, yeah.
She had a really good mother spirit about her.
Yes, she did.
But when she first showed up, why did Michael call her Amanda? Why not say mom and hug her and all that?
Maybe it's one of those families. Yeah, they just go by the first name.
And she was raised as a Vulcan. So
it's probably a sign of respect rather than...
True.
I don't think she called Sarek dad either, so...
Well, she called Amanda mom later on in the episode.
Well, that was probably more in a more formal setting. She was probably, startled by her beaming in. So it was more of a formal response.
Yeah.
And you had another crew person there too. So I guess you don't want to sit there like you're in your uniform. I know that, being in my camouflage uniform, let's say, and I'm all set and I'm all gungy for war. And then I look, oh, hi, Mom. It's just ruins the image.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear the end of that.
No, but she did hug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was subterfuge, though, because she was telling Michael not to react because she needed her help with Spock. That was a calculated move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because you could see Michael's reaction because she wasn't quite sure, to complete the hug. At least that's the impression I got.
Okay.
But at least we get a chance to find out a little bit more on it. What I thought that was kind of, they didn't mention it in the show, but you know how my mind works. The fact that Spock knew or something that with Michael that was in danger back and forth, I think that somehow as we find out that they had a connection that's so strong that she felt it and Spock was able to kind of feel it. So they've done some sort of quantum entanglement some while in their lives.
Well, wasn't there some, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you mind meld with someone, isn't there some kind of residual connection?
There is, because that's brought up later on in the season with Sarek.
Okay, because I was going to say, because it didn't Spock and Michael, they've mind melded before, so there would be that connection between them.
That's why she was able to kind of help him in a way.
Okay.
So that definitely opens up a whole new realm of different things there. And it also maybe explains why Spock, I guess when Spock holds a grudge, he holds a grudge because Lord knows nobody knew about Sarek or Michael except for this prequel. You'd never hear about any of them.
Sybok.
Don't you mean Sarek?
Sybok.
Okay.
You never hear about Sybok. The whole thing, even Kirk was like, you got a brother?
Vulcans can keep secrets.
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
certain.
I was confused because you said Sarek at first, and I was like, Lieutenant Sarek doesn't come until much later.
No, she wasn't related.
Now,
but yeah.
Even though Spock wasn't technically in the episode, it was so much about him. It felt like he was there in spirit.
I agree.
They, when they first started talking about Spock, he's stuck in a psych ward. He's trapped. Oh my God, he escaped and everything. It was a crime of passion. And the entire time that they're talking about how he's wanted for murder and he escaped, I'm thinking, okay, so we got our next Halloween costume, the sexy Vulcan fugitive.
Yeah.
How about you do your Halloween costume as that spongy entity that they pulled out of Tilly? The mycelial network spy that was hiding in Tilly.
I look like that every morning when I wake up.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, Heather, but
It looked like something that escaped from Dr. Popper.
Right?
So, going back to Spock being in the psych ward and everything, they were saying that Spike was emotional because of the extreme empathy. Spock? Did I say Spike?
You said Spike, yeah. This isn't Buffy.
That's a cute pet name for Spock.
You're thinking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so.
No, I'm thinking of these tribbles over here. There's one tribble over here named Spike. I was looking at him.
Yeah, why did you give him a mohawk?
And teeth. The teeth and the mohawk, they go together. It works.
If you say so.
Well, it keeps Nathan's bird away.
Well, that's true. So thank you.
I don't think Patrick knows about Nathan's bird.
You don't know about Nathan's bird?
Yeah, let's not discuss Nathan's bird.
Yeah, we won't touch on that. So
you have to go listen to the previous episode or two.
Well, going back to it, extreme empathy deficits. Are they basically saying that Spock was a SuperPsychoSpock?
Yeah.
Because he's psychotic now?
Yeah, that's what they were trying to claim. But I also love the fact that when you have good friends that know you, I mean, really know you, they said that he killed people and escaped. And all three of them goes, yeah, no, that's not him.
Totally. Yeah, he didn't do that. There's no way. Yeah.
He would have done the little Vulcan pinch on the shoulders and walked out.
Totally.
Yeah. So that I thought was cool. There was a lot of personality undercurrents that if you really pay attention, and that's what I like about the show, it's kind of like a parfait. It's juicy layer on top of juicy layer. Mm-hmm. If you notice when they had the medical files and they wanted to break into it, he told Michael, I give you an order. He didn't need to give her an order, but what he was doing, he was protecting her in case everything went sideways. So if they went after somebody, they wouldn't go after Mike. He says, I told her to do it. So she's blameless. I gave her a direct order to break that file. You know, and I was like, wow, that's a captain.
Another good reason we love Captain Pike.
I know. He put himself on the line in case it all went sideways. He's like, I gave Michael an order to break that file. So if stuff goes crazy, he can say that. And it's never comes up, but it's understood.
I wouldn't mind being on Captain Pike's line.
Pike is a refreshing breath, or a breath of... shoot, I totally screwed that up. Pike is a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Especially after Lorca.
Pike is great. There's something about him you just trust and love about Captain Pike.
He's got a real father, but yet command personality at the same time.
Doesn't hurt that he's hot.
And he's also entertaining and funny at the same time. Did you guys catch the line about, he was joking about marrying people when he was talking to Tilly?
Yeah.
It went by so quick because that's when she was getting, messed around with seriously by her invisible friend. But he threw that line right by me and like, oh my God, that's hilarious.
I really enjoy his portrayal of Pike. I think the Pike also in the movies gave the same air. So the casting is perfect on it. But I think this guy's really knocking it out of the park. I really, really love that.
If they don't give him his own series, they are really missing out.
It's a good possibility. There's a lot of stuff coming down the chute. So we'll definitely see.
I mean, come on, Georgia's getting her own theory, so
Well, with the Section 31,
I think Pike is more beloved than Giorgio, so
I would think so.
It's gonna be definitely interesting to come through. And speaking about Giorgio, we get a chance to go back to the Klingon planet again to see how you got a lot of Game of Thrones shit happening in the background.
Oh God!
It was a Jerry Springer episode.
That's for certain.
I am not fond of those Klingons. I wish they would have done was just give them a different alien name. Just have them be completely different aliens, and it would have worked out great.
Well, Volk lost his head in that episode.
So did the kid.
Yeah.
God, I'm funny, aren't I?
There's a lot of head jokes right there. It's a way to get ahead, man.
All right.
And the one I was confused, I had to rewind that part. It's like, wait a minute, he was in human form and got her pregnant, or was he in Klingon form and got her pregnant? Because that means then he's human with Klingon sperm. And if he's got Klingon sperm, does it have ridges? And then I was like, wait a minute, no, she got pregnant before they did the
before.
change.
The kid had ridges.
Okay.
Internally, he's still Klingon. It's only externally that he looks human.
No, it wasn't even internally because they scanned him and couldn't even see the fact that he was.
They were going to have sex. They were, just about there. She was being all, because she got up next to him. No, she got all hot and heavy, like in the episode.
No, beforehand they had, because that's how the baby happened, Rocky. Of course.
And this time,
pardon my brain, I'm slow.
No, it's okay. And I know they had, duh. Like, I know that's how kids are made. Jesus. No, and in this episode, she goes in to have sex with him, and he's like, I can't. I have a headache. I got a Klingon headache. I can't.
He's just not feeling it anymore. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Is he intimidated or is he just really getting emotional?
No, you know what it is was the whole affair thing with Michael, because then she got all like jealous and everything. Well, who you texting? Who you talking to? What you doing?
It's the other woman.
You won't have sex with me. You won't, do this. You won't do that. What you doing?
Yeah, she was a little bit upset about the whole situation. But it also shows you, like, towards the end of the show, how much she really does love him, because she was willing for people to believe he was dead.
Oh, yeah.
And
she's like, y'all going to call me mother.
Yeah,
I'm taking charge. You call me mother, damn it.
That was so weird.
That was strategic, too, though, because if she had let him live, it would have weakened her seat of power.
Yep.
Right.
And she's like, y'all want to do a DNA test on their head? Well, you better catch it before it burns in the lava.
Well, plus Giorgio telling her what it takes to raise a kid. She's like, that doesn't sound like fun. I think I'm going to send you guys away so I can go rule and I don't have to raise a kid.
That was pretty smart. And I would love, Rocky, you got to make that device for me. I would love to have a satellite stuff that turns people into pink mist that hovers over my shoulder. I would love that.
Isn't that just your breath?
you know, we can easily open up the portal from where you are and see if we can freeze dry Patrick.
You know, I think if you guys can hear it, I think I hear Elnor's pussy in the background.
Is that what that sound was?
No, those are my pussies. I've got Dresden, Groot, and Rocket.
Cool.
Nice.
Yes, and Dresden has been whiny lately. He's just been like meow.
I've heard sounds like that before in my household.
And finally, it seems like, because I thought when I first saw this episode that we're going to have to deal with Tilly going batshit crazy all the way through. But then she finally did what she kind of should have done in the beginning, which is saying, hey, I got an imaginary person that I'm talking to. And Michael, being such a good friend again, listened objectively.
And she figured it out in a second. Oh, man.
I know.
Yeah, it was like, oh, wait a second. How could she not have tears? Wait a minute. Hold on a moment. You can't say that shit. I know exactly what's going on. You've got an alien haunting you. Burnham figured it out so fast. And all Tilly needed to do was just say, I'm going crazy over here. Could you help?
Yes, seriously. I mean, she's your roommate. She could have been able to explain that I see somebody on there. But
Michael was going through some stuff too. I mean, Michael was crying when she walked in. She was probably like, I don't want to bother you.
But she's like, no, it's all good. I need something else to concentrate on. Give me something to solve, you know?
And she solved it in a second.
If she wants something to solve, she should have solved Fred's kidnapping from Section 31. She would have got so much further if she did.
Oh, boy.
It would have been cool to have him back. So, yeah, that would have been kind of neat.
I was really digging the whole aspect of this episode that I think it's just because the holidays around the corner or just after the corner, depending on which time period you listen to this on. It's a mother's show.
That's right.
It's all about the mom.
You may call me mother.
Yeah.
Mother.
And Spock's mother,
Amanda,
comes right in and sets stuff straight. Mothers take care of jobs. They get it done. That's what mothers do. When no one else is getting shit done right, a good mom will come in and set shit straight.
Yes, they definitely will. A good mom has your back almost no matter what.
Yep.
Or just about, So it was really cool to see her stand there, and all the Klingons dig it, And plus, in school, if you know people, if you do the dozens, or in New York, we used to call it snapping on each other. You can talk about people's family all day long. Oh, your aunt's got a sticker in her ass and she uses it to lean back and read. Nobody gets mad. Oh, your dad's got a third eye and nobody will say anything. You do something. Your mom dresses funny and there's a knife fight in front of the school.
That's right. Don't you say shit about my mother. Yeah.
Don't you ever talk about somebody's mom. Yeah. And the Klingons are the same way. You saw that when she said, you may call me mother, they went ape shit.
Oh, yeah. They're like, fuck yeah. We like mother.
Yeah, we got a mom now. Y'all can't mess with us.
That's right.
We're no longer bastards.
It was definitely,
well, you are, Blanche, you are, but just a whole different kind.
It's definitely the show. I can see why a lot of people love the second season. The second season was a lot more when it came to action, and they had a lot of breadcrumbs for people to watch the show and then immediately run to Memory Alpha to see how much things lined up to what was canon, what's not canon, and everything else.
You know, one thing I missed, because this is actually the second time I'm watching these episodes now, because I wasn't able to get my second rewatching, because I watched the first season twice. Mm-hmm. So I'm catching on my second one on season 2. Giorgio on Section 31, I got that ship, and it's like, well, this bridge is like a 2-layer bridge and it's very cool. But the things that Giorgio said that I kind of forgotten about on my first viewing, misfits have merit.
Yeah.
The freaks are more fun.
Yeah.
Loved those lines so much.
Very much.
It says so much about Section 31. And who Section 31 is. This is what happens when you really put the misfits in charge and they take care of things the way they're going to do it. And they're going to have fun doing it. I love that.
And herself as a character is so cool because she's confident. She's in control. You see her mind is always going 1,000 miles a minute. And it's just something about that which also makes her, very dangerous, but also very sexy at the same time.
Well, yeah. And she's in the wrong damn universe. And she's constantly on her toes trying to figure stuff out and handle it her way. And her way is not the way of this universe. Her way is the mirror universe. But she's making it work and she's doing so good at it. I love that character.
Well, when you're a crazy despot, you're always on your toes. So
I just hope that when they do have the Section 31 show, that they can keep it fresh and interesting that way.
Dude.
And we do see Giorgio grow.
If they have a Section 31 show, it's going to be like the Truman Show, where you're going to be watching someone sleeping for most of the time.
That show. Okay.
It's definitely got a lot in store. I know that having all of the Trek on the CBS All Access app, as well as the movies, as well as all the series and everything else, has been a joy. Also, towards the end of this episode, when we finally get a chance to see the Section 31 ship, which looks badass. It's better looking than ours, I must say. But this is the first time we hear about Control. And I'm not talking about the Janet Jackson song. I'm talking about Control.
That's a good song.
For those of you that haven't seen season 2 yet, spoilers, Control winds up being the big bad.
Big bad.
Like the Borg.
Like Borg bad. Yeah, it was something else.
Yeah, so much so that people started to think whether or not if that was the birth of the Borg, which I could understand why. But the Borg was actually out. Do you remember where the Borg was when Q took the Enterprise? I forgot what section of space that was. It wasn't a Delta Quadrant, was it?
Wasn't it Gamma?
I believe it was Gamma Quadrant. Yeah.
Yeah, very good, Heather. Outstanding. Yeah,
That's
it was
why
out.
we have her. She remembers things.
So if Q hadn't interfered, if Q hadn't interfered, we probably still to this day would not have run into the Borg, being that they were in the Gamma Quadrant.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I can't wait that they somehow bring Q on. If they don't bring Q in for Discovery, they gotta bring Q in for if they do the Ensign Mount Pike or somewhere along on the line.
That would be fun.
They need to have a pop-up somewhere. I would love that. So that would be cool. And we already know that Rosario Dawson said she wants to do a female version of the Q. So that'd be curious and see how people receive her, because they're actually going a little bit nutsy about the fact that she's going to play Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian next season.
Oh, cool.
I know we're talking cross.
What universe are you talking about? That's not the mirror universe. You must be talking about something else.
We shouldn't be crossing streams. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, I got to get ready to. Well, first, let me go ahead and put in my transfer coordinates. And so this way, they know where to beam me from while we're doing this. And any more thoughts about this episode, Heather? Because you kept dropping in and out of communication. You have the floor.
Well, first of all, can you do me a favor and bring me a new comm badge when you come back? I fixed this well enough that I could talk to you guys, but I definitely think I need a new comm badge.
Of course.
I'll look one up on Amazon for you.
Cool.
I think I have a spare laying around here, but just remind me to move my access codes, because I don't want you to see the stuff I may or may not have written about you.
Oh, you can read my diary, but I can't read what you write.
Yeah, mine will probably be even more risque than yours.
That's awesome. I want to read that.
Being in command is lonely, so...
He just means that it would be more incomprehensible because all he does is write gibberish.
Is there a way we could beam him out in space, or does he still have that transport inhibitor going on?
No, he still has the transport inhibitor. Yeah,
man. You ain't getting me.
He knows. I don't have anything to say about Discovery. Just that in the Short Trek Q&A, I missed a few things because, you know. But I swear to God, the whole episode was a sex episode. Like, seriously, all of my notes are all sex notes. And I'm not going to go into all of them. I'm going to have to watch it
another time to see if I can get the sex vibe. Because I got some sex vibes, but not throughout the whole thing.
Oh my God, throughout the whole thing. You know, she asks Spock to go on his knees. They have sparks flying. She sees fireworks. You're going to have to learn how to keep, your freaky to yourself.
Keep your freaky to yourself.
I'm like, ooh, what kind of freaky are you into?
Yeah.
She starts singing and all that. And it's just the whole thing. I mean, they totally fucked in the elevator.
And they were rolling around on the floor together.
Is that what they call that when they do it in the elevator?
And then when they go out, when they're like leaving, you even see like the little smile, the little hint of a smile. Like, I did something that nobody else knows about. They fucked in the elevator.
She had to zip up her tunic.
Yes.
Yeah, she did some zipping.
The whole thing. It was just a whole play on it. I was like, holy cow, this is like such a soft core.
The computer recorded it. Hello.
If the Turbolift is a Rockin, don't bother opening the hatch.
Yeah, that the flow on that could have been a little better, Rocky. That was a little...
This is why I'm not a rap star.
That was a little rocky.
That's all I have to say about that.
But I think number one and Spock do have a relationship in the Pike era. I seem to remember that about, I don't know, of all the books I read and just the stuff. They had some kind of a thing, relationship.
They were finishing each other's sentences. They hadn't even been together for less than an hour and they're finishing each other's sentences.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Oh, you got good connections like that. Things go well. Like when you first came on board, Heather, I had a solid connection with you. And it was the same thing with you, Captain Hall.
Well, that's because you and Heather had the same VD results.
You really need to. It's just wow. What is up? Okay, I guess that's my cue to get ready to get out of here. This was
you called me in last minute, so you get what you get.
It's funny. I hear you say that before all your dates.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I haven't had a date in over 8-9 years, so I don't know who you've been talking to, but that's all lies.
No. Let's talk about for next week. We're going to definitely. I had the short trek I wanted to talk about was God, I have a short. Let me check the system.
Your brain is a short trek?
No, we're going to be talking about, of course, episode 4 for second season. So we will be talking on that episode. But I do believe that the next one we're going to go on to talk about Pike. To continue that, the homework assignment is going to be Ask Not. So that's going to be the short we're going to watch. And it's going to show more of Pike's command ability. And of course, we're going to be looking at the next show for Discovery.
So we're going to get to see his command ability.
The captain's log.
Command ability.
The captain's log. We're going to see the captain's log.
Yes.
Yeah, see, now Patrick's getting all excited about it.
We're going to see how he takes control.
He just grabs the joystick and goes.
All right, this is my cue. Thanks everybody for coming on. Please be safe. Make sure you wash your hands at least 20 seconds. Come back to us. All right. Leave your comments, emails, suggestions, everything on the link. Don't forget, we do a live broadcast on Monday morning where you get a chance to talk to some of the crew here live through YouTube. And we might even pull you in as a guest as we did last show.
You ain't pulled me in on the live show.
So make sure you stay safe and just don't have a great week. Make it so.
Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.